Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
Good evening and welcome to Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott, and we're still having some technical issues, so we're just going to be doing a YouTube show tonight. And Javier from Cryptid 559 and his frosted tipped hair are here tonight. Dirty Filth is here as well. He's going to join in on the chat. So there will be no commercial breaks. We may take a break just to relax for a few minutes, but for the next 2 hours, we are going to be just giving you guys some sort of programming here so that way you can have some fun. I apologize that we're not going to do the radio side, but you know what? All of a sudden, you know, as of last night, as you knew, if you stayed around for the entire show, I went to play the recordings and my audio was just absolute garbage going into the other computer. So we're just going to do the YouTube side tonight, but we're going to do almost everything the same, but you're not going to get the intro music and all that kind of stuff. No, we're toning it down for tonight. So who do we have here? We got Road Flare in the gold medal position, Tim Mothman and his goatee sharing a silver, Eternity Eternal with a bronze. Hi there, Kitty Cattywhack. How are you? And Bar Madison, Robert Lamoth, Trucker Andrew, and Race Fan. How you guys doing? Attorney at Large, Michael Morris, Lisa Piper. Yeah, you know what? Lisa Piper will be signing autographs after the show. Line up to the left of the studio, if you don't mind, to the left of the studio. JSCO, Kurt M., how are you? T-Bone, my man. Kathy Evans, thank you all for coming on in. Mama Catherine, there's my lady. I love you, my dear. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful night. We're going to have some fun tonight, I promise you. Oh, I'm just going to go hatless tonight. What the hell? All right. Scrolling down, we got Jaquetta. We got Cosmic Joe. We got Mel WD40 lubing us up for tonight's show because Javier literally said to me about 2 minutes ago, there is no way I'm doing this show, Dave, unless I'm nice and lubed. So we had to call Mel in on an emergency early to lube up Javier. So here we go. Thank you, Mel, for your lovely lube. And Javier's now ready to go. Paramarv, how are you, my friend? Shell Heaton, how are you? Thank you for joining us. Luscious Jules, good to see you. Creepy Pasta is here. Creepy Pasta will be signing autographs after the show as well. Line up to the right of the studio, if you don't mind, to the right of the studio. Scrolling on down, we're going to say hello next to, well, there's a conversation going on. I don't know why I'm here. Necessary Dialogue, Noble Patrick, Flubber Lane, and Pam Harris. Thank you all for joining us. And as we go on down, there's Cody Dodson. If you wave at Cody, Cody always waves back. Watch. Yeah, Cody's waving right now as we speak. All right, moving on down. Lisa Smith, nice to see you. And there's the lovely and talented Candy Wolf. And let's see here. Anil EDM. Now, does that mean you're from Edmonton or you're into EDM music? Because both are pretty awesome. Jennifer Richardson Elizalde, how are you? Long time no see. I'm glad you are here. And Radio Wendigo, Lulu Bell, good morning to you. Laura Lobbs, and the lovely Candace. Enrique, how are you, my friend? Undead Jed, thank you for coming on in. Sweet Donna C, how are you? T-Bone's kicking off the super chat tonight because the super chat is a wonderful way to support what we do on this show. And give me 2 seconds here. I actually get a day off tomorrow. Oh God, I'm so excited about it. And what am I doing here? That's 10 for T-Bone. Thank you. And who's next here? I'm like slow motion tonight. Like, oh, hello, everybody. All right, let's see here. Scrolling on down. Signs of Life, how are you? Kurt M. And yeah. Louisville, Charlie, how are you? JW3 from Ohio, or as JW3 put it, OHIO. OHIO. Well, it's better than being from Arkansas, I guess. Astro Fugitive, how are you? Not that there's anything wrong with Arkansas. Wayne, how are you? Fast Hemi, nice to see you. That's right. And scrolling on down. Okay, we're caught up. Let's bring the boys in. There's Javier. How you doing, buddy? Long time no see. Haven't seen you, Ocon. And let me tell you something about Javier if you don't know him. He's from the YouTube channel Cryptid 559. You definitely want to subscribe to him. And the one thing that I like about Javier is he's an honest investigator. What he sees, he's going to tell you. There's no exploitation of the phenomena. There is no exploitation of making up stories just to make himself get more clicks or more, popular. He's not like that. He's not that dude. He's a good guy. I've met him personally a couple of times now, and I'll tell you, every time I meet him, the heart on this man is absolutely amazing. It always starts off with a big hug and a handshake and a big smile saying, how you doing? Javier I'm telling the truth there. I think I am. You're that guy, man.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. And of course, I'm telling you my experiences and our team members' experiences as it went down. I'm not, like you said, I'm not adding stuff to it. Just telling you straight out how it went down. And yeah, last time I saw you was at UFO Con, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, it was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful. And you and your lovely wife were there. Jesus wasn't there, which I'm kind of upset about. So make sure you shake him for me, okay?
Yeah, I'll let him know. He's probably watching.
Oh, good. Well, if we could just get a group fish shake at Jesus just to show that we're upset that he's not here. Rock and Rory, how you doing? Once again, to our audience members just coming in, we are not doing a live radio show tonight. We got some major audio issues going into our other computer. So, yeah, that makes me so happy, but we're going to work on it again in the morning and see if we could get that cleared up. But Javier, tell us a little about you. What made you start Cryptid 559?
Well, I was always intrigued of the paranormal and the UFO phenomena. And then back in the late 80s, me and my family had a UFO encounter. About that time, I was around, I want to say about 10 years old. And then from there on, I was always intrigued of the paranormal and the UFO and strange stuff, But I if you ask my family, I was the chicken. I was a big chicken of that stuff, but hey, here I am. I'm chasing Dogman. I'm chasing Bigfoot, and I love this stuff.
Now, when you think California, you're not thinking Dogman. You're not thinking Bigfoot. You're not thinking any of this. I mean, unless you're in Northern California, but where you are, I mean, I remember the first conversation we ever had, man, and I was kind of like, really? Are you serious? You got Dogman and Bigfoot in that area? Tell everybody where you are located.
We're located in the central San Joaquin Valley, in California. It's about 30 minutes east of Fresno, California. We're right in the center of the state of California. We're between LA and Sacramento. I'm sorry, between LA and Sacramento. We're right in the middle. Yeah, so it's just right in the valley, and here in the valley, it's all agricultural. We grow citrus, vines, tree fruit, pistachios, avocados, a little bit of everything is all grown here in the valley.
Right on. And so the fact that you were out there looking for these creatures, where are they located? Like, how far do you have to go to get to your investigative area?
Not very far, Dave. We've caught them on camera, just about 15 minutes out of town,
Oh,
and we have sometimes just maybe like the Kings River runs through our town, and
right.
sometimes we go down there and we investigate along the Kings River, and we've caught them on our camera a couple of times. And it's just like I said, sometimes it's along the Kings River, which is inside the
Right.
town, and sometimes it's just a few minutes out of town. But Avocado Lake, which is about 15 minutes north of us from where I live in Wheatley, California.
Yeah.
Um, it's about 15 minutes from here, and that's a major hotspot area, and that's on the outskirts, and that's just at the beginning of the foothills.
That is
But
absolutely.
it's not very far. I don't have to go very far.
Yeah, man. I didn't think it was that close. I mean, how did you learn that there was weird things happening in your area?
Well, I mean, UFO wise, we always knew there was stuff, in the sky, but then later on, there was another team out in our air in the Fresno area that was doing this, and I heard about them, and they're the ones that came out with They had a gentleman that came out and he had an encounter with a family of Bigfoot,
Oh, wow.
and I watched that video, and then I got a hold of one of the gentlemen that was part of that group. You might know him. His name's Alan Thomas. Um, and from there on, we were talking and we got acquainted with the group, and that's when I learned that Bigfoots and other strange creatures were around in the valley here. And from there
Okay.
on, we started doing our own channel, and and we had started having our own encounters.
Wow. A big shout out to Sweet Donna C for the lovely super chat. Thank you. This is going to be a rarity tonight because we are not doing the radio show. So I am going to give proper shout outs for the super chats tonight. So if you want to hear me mention your name on the air, throw up a super chat. Yeah, if you want. That's up to you. Yeah. Okay. So you learned about this just a few years ago that there was this action happening here. What made you decide to find the courage to actually head on over to these areas to see if you could have a sighting or an encounter yourself?
Yeah, so when I had that, when me and my family had that encounter with the triangles back in the late '80s, I've always wanted to see another UFO. So I heard about the family of Bigfoot being seen at near Avocado Lake, and like I said, it's like 15 minutes north from us. So a group of us friends, started going out there. Let's go out there and see if we have our own experience or what we see, or maybe we'll sky watch out there because it's nice out there and that you can sky watch and it's pretty clear. And we'll just see if we have any encounters of our own. And sure enough, we started having experiences, and that's when I had my Dogman encounter out there. And from then on, it's just like boom, like one after the other. It's just different experiences, different type of stuff. It's just
Right.
crazy.
So for people who don't know, Avocado Lake is how far from Fresno? It's east of
It's
Fresno.
pro-
Right?
it's just about 15, 20 minutes east of Fresno.
Okay. So you're not that far into the woods. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
looking at a map here.
it's
And
just
so
at the beginning. Yeah, it's just at the beginning of the foothills.
of the Sequoia Canyon National
No,
Park.
it's not.
Or
It's not even the Sequoia. Sequoia is about an hour away from us. Yosemite
okay,
National Park is about 2 hours north from us, and Kings Canyon National Park is about an hour from us. So this is
okay.
just regular foothills going up. It's
Oh
just the
man.
beginning. Yeah. So this is the valley, almost like the outskirts of the valley floor.
Now I'm
Until
gonna
you start
zoom.
going into the hills.
I
Yeah.
lost it. I lost where it is here. Hold on. Oh, there it is. There it is. See, like looking at a map, and I realize I'm looking at a one-dimensional map here, but I mean, where's the forest, man? Like I see all the parks and everything, to the east of you and going north and south from there, but I had no clue. I mean, this looks like just farming area and are
Correct.
there describe the area. Are there a lot of trees and forests there?
Around Avocado Lake, no, there is. Of course, it's a park. It's a public park. Of course, there's going to be some trees in there in that lake area, but other than that, no. It's surrounded by citrus and acreage of lemons, and then it's the foothills on the other side, which is just every once in a while we have a tree, but it's not like you think like the national parks. It's not. It's just open land. Usually, you have cattle in there. Um, and every so often you'll have a tree in there, but right now it's all dry grass until you start going up the mountains, different elevations, and then it starts turning into your forest, what you think is a forest. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
And
it's a lot of
has
go ahead.
that area always been known as a cryptid area?
Uh, from what I know, yes. From all the other groups that I've talked to, yes. But like I said, we started in 2017,
Yeah.
and from there on, that's when we learned all about everything. That this whole valley is off the charts. It's like a hotspot, the whole valley, not just that area, but there's different areas in the valley that are off the charts.
What do you think is causing all of that action there?
Uh, you know,
And let me add to that if you don't mind, please. Okay, because I do believe that there are areas out there, Javier, that for some reason are just hotspots. Okay, my area of Flight 21 is a hotspot. Your
Mhm.
area, Skinwalker Ranch, and many others, they seem to be these hotspots of phenomenal activity. And hi, Jazz, how you doing? And so, do you think that that's just what it is? It's just one of those territories?
I think so. And there has to be something with the land too. I believe, and there might be. I believe in portals. Um, out here in our area and where these hotspots are, they're very close to quarries, rock quarries, and there's like I said in the Kings River, so they're really close to water, and there's a lot of granite out here. So granite has a lot of small crystals, and there's a lot of quartz. So that might have something to do with it, you know. But yeah, it's just like our hotspot areas are really close to rock quarries that I've noticed here in our area.
Well, we're going to get into Dogman and Bigfoot here in a little bit, but I really, really need a favor from you, if you don't mind. And my favorite story of yours is the time you had a very close encounter with a pterodactyl. Set up that story for us.
Sure. So it was me and Jesus, and we had let me see here. We're going out to where I had my dogman encounter, which is just north of Avocado Lake. It's about 5 minutes just north of Avocado Lake. Um, there's a bridge, and at that bridge we usually park, like about at around. We usually go in the evenings, but this particular night, afternoon, we went as it was getting dark. So we had gotten there a little early before nightfall. So we parked, and me and Jesus got out of the van, and I had my spotlight. And as I was getting dark, I had my head in the swivel because of my dogman encounter. So I always have my head in the swivel. I'm looking behind me and everywhere. I'm not just looking straight at one location. And then I hear, we're up by the bridge, and I'm pointing my spotlight. Like I said, it's getting dark, and I point my spotlight at this little island. We call it a little island in the Kings River where that bridge
Right.
is, and there's some shrubbery in there. So I'm just pointing the spotlight in there, maybe so I can see some eye shine. Maybe I'll catch some eye shine in there, see if something's in there. So I'm doing that, and then, like I said, I have my head on a swivel, so I'm looking back behind me, and just you never know, right? So then I hear this loud screech, like a loud screech, and then I turn and I point the spotlight where I thought the noise came from, and sure enough, here comes this bird out of the shrubbery, out of that island, but it had its back towards us, so it's coming out of the shrubbery. And when I saw it come out of the shrubbery, I thought it was a crane, because we have cranes out here. We have the blue grayish cranes, and we have the white ones. So I thought it was one of those at first. And then I left the light on it, and I was turning my head, and I told Jesus, hey, check it out. There's a bird coming out of that shrub. And Jesus then says, hey, that's a large bird. And when he said that, I turned around and I put the light back on it. And sure enough, it had its back towards us. It was out of the shrubs by that time. And we're looking at it, and I'm noticing I have the light on it. It's reflecting the light kind of, but it was a tannish color, leathery type skin. And I'm looking, I go, I'm not noticing any feathers. And I'm not saying anything. Jesus is not saying anything. We're just observing it. And then it opens up its wings, Dave. It opens up its wings, and they're like a bat wing. And I go, what the heck? And then it turned its head. And when it turned its head to the side, that's when we saw the big old
Beak.
the big old beak. And it looked like it had scratches on the beak, and you can see scratches. And then you can see on one of the eyes, when it was looking back towards us, it had like a big old structure around the eye, like a bone structure. And then it had a little nub on top, not a big old one, just a little one on top.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and then so it had its wings open, and then real slow, up, down, and then it was off the ground. And then, like I said, it had its back towards us, so I saw the feet, really small feet, no tail. Like I said, no feathers anywhere. And then it did it again, real slow. It flapped its wings real slow, and then it was over the bridge and heading towards the Pine Flat Dam. That's up the road, about 10 minutes up the road. It was heading that direction. So it was going along the Kings River, though. It was following the Kings River.
And if I recall, you weren't that far from this creature.
No, we were about at least 50 to 60 yards away.
That's not far.
So we saw it. We clearly saw it. After it left, it went over the bridge, and we lost sight of it. Me and Jesus turned to each other, and we were like, dude, what did we just see? And I told, Jesus, go first. Tell me what you saw. And he went down. I saw this. I saw this. I saw this. I saw no feathers. And then he asked, and then I go, yeah. And I go, dude, that was a pterodactyl, dude. And we're like,
so bizarre, man. I love that story. You were literally seeing something with your own eyes that, let's see, how long ago? Let me just check this. How long ago did pterosaurs, SARS go extinct? So they went extinct approximately 65 to 66 million years ago. Okay. And somehow I don't think that what you saw was that old.
No. And man, Dave, I mean, your head is processing as you're looking at it. Your head's going through, different stuff that, okay, is it this? Is it this? Is it a big bat? Is it no? Is it a crane? Well, I thought it was a crane, but there's no feathers. It has no feathers. Obviously, it didn't have the long legs, skinny legs, because I saw them. It was a little pointy feet at the bottom.
Yeah.
It was, and then they didn't have no tail. It had a point. It went back to a pointy, like where the tail should be. It was like a little pointy point. And and the wings, I mean, were huge. I mean, the wingspan, and it was all leathery type skin. And it was kind of weird too because it reflected the spotlight.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I remember that you were saying that. I mean, did its chest light up at all? Because
You
there
know,
have been reports of like what the Jonathan Whitmore calls, or Whitcomb, pardon me, calls these ropin that
Ropins,
are
yeah,
said to have a triangulated area of flight from Texas up to northern British Columbia, where I am, like even north of me, and then over to New Zealand and Fiji and back into Mexico slash Texas. It's like a giant triangle for them.
yeah. Um, Unfortunately, this one had its back towards us, so we never got to see the chest part, but it did
Right.
turn its head. Even when it went up in the air, when it flew off, it was already the chest was facing down. So we just saw mostly the
Right.
back of it, and the beak, and one of the eyes, and
Did
that.
you
No,
did you get a chance to see the footprints?
no, because we couldn't get to that island. There's
Oh,
just no way we can, and there wouldn't be any prints there because it's all rock. It's all river rock in there. Yeah,
so what do you think it was doing there? Do you think it was like eating fish
it was
or
probably uh, it was probably eating fish, um, and it was probably hiding out in there. And then once it got dark, like I said, it was getting dark. So then they're nocturnal, I believe. So they come out at night.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if it was feeding, what kind of fish do you have in that river?
We have different types of trout, rainbow trout, and other trouts in there.
No salmon or
No,
any,
no,
okay.
no.
So the idea that you had this experience, what convinced you that it was a pterodactyl type creature and not a condor or a crane or something along those lines?
It's not a crane because it didn't fit the description. And we're very familiar with the cranes out here. We always see them.
Yeah.
Once it was out of that shrub, there was no way it was a crane. This thing was at least uh, 2 to 4 feet tall
Oh,
when it was standing, at least. And so the cranes are real small compared to this thing.
right.
Um,
And,
what else?
and this happened at what time of the year?
It was around this time of the year. It was around August, I believe, around August when it's the hottest here.
You know what pisses me off, Javier, and I'm sure it bugs you as well, is it's these chance encounters that always seem to happen when you're not recording.
Correct.
You know,
Yes.
like even at Flight 21, when we had the immensely close tree knock about 2 months ago, and then we had whatever it was farting in the bush. Okay, both happened at times when we were not filming.
Yeah.
Your situation happened when you were not filming.
Correct.
And so I'm just absolutely amazed that it's almost like these creatures know when the camera is off,
Yeah.
and it
That's
just
what it
drives
seems
me
like.
nuts.
Yeah, it seems like it. Every time we put the camera down, something happens. Or we shut it off, something happens. To me, it does. Even sometimes when we have the camera, Dave, I've noticed that, and not just me, other group members or other friends that go with us and take pictures up there in these certain areas, and we're experiencing stuff. We get back home and we're trying to review the photos, and some of the photos don't even show up in the camera. So what is that?
Yeah.
So and you can swear you took pictures of it. Where are they? And they're not. They're nowhere in the camera. So what happened there?
Hey, Dave,
Yeah,
if I
Phil.
may, if I may interject for a second, because you said I was allowed to have my microphone off, and I apologize for cutting everybody off. But remember when you guys went to Area 51 and took those pictures and they didn't come out correct? They
Yeah.
were all wonky.
Yeah.
That's like apparently government technology, but imagine if
You're a government technology.
creatures or beings have this same ability naturally.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's
Yeah.
just what I was
Hey,
thinking.
Dirty.
Anyways, what?
Hello, Dirty.
Hi, Dave.
Hello.
Okay, back to cartoons.
All right. Mike Bothwell, how are you? Good to see you. Yeah, man. I just absolutely love this story because it just drives me nuts that this, and this is something Tim James and I have talked about for Flight 21, and I'm sure you and Jesus have as well in your hotspot, that no matter what you're doing, you have to have at least a secondary camera rolling
Yeah.
at all times now.
Yeah.
You know, so you don't miss things like that. And even if you miss the picture, maybe you get the sound. You know,
Exactly. Yeah.
in your area where this happened and where you frequent, do you have a lot of exposure to other types of phenomena? Like, for instance, you know, you say you got the Dogman and the Bigfoot there. Are you getting paranormal encounters there as well, or voices on recorder just interrupting, talking over you?
Okay. So, Avocado Lake at the bridge. So the Dogman encounter was one, and obviously the camera wasn't facing the direction where the Dogman showed up, so we didn't capture it on camera. Um, Out there, we've experienced orbs in the citrus orchard, or these orbs that would come out and then go back in. Um, we've experienced yelling, like chattering out there. It sounds like native chattering to us, but I don't know what language it is. Um, we've experienced some other crazy stuff, paranormal wise.
Mhm.
Over here on
Tell me
go
about
ahead.
those. Tell me about those, the crazy paranormals. And
The
what color were the orbs?
the orbs were white, and I believe one time my niece had seen one that was red, and it came out. It came out. We There's another place behind Avocado Lake where there's a citrus orchard, and then there's a lemon orchard, and it's divided by the road. So we park along this road in between these two orchards, and we just sit there and listen because it's so quiet out there and it's all dark. There's no lighting. There's nothing, and we just sit there and stuff comes to you,
Right.
and you can hear it in the orchards getting closer as it's getting closer through the trees. It's walking because there's leaves, dead leaves on the ground, so you can hear it moving, getting closer and getting closer. Then we put a flashlight. There's nothing there. But then we turn it off and we're just sitting there. You can hear it getting closer to like it's like right there next to the vehicle. And you just don't see nothing. And you know it's there. And then one time I had taken my niece out with me and my brother-in-law. We went out there and she saw what she said. It was a red orb come out of the orchard in front of us and go back in. And then other times we have seen white orbs come out, go back in, or I've seen a leg one time underneath the lemon tree. I thought it was the trunk of the lemon tree, and it wasn't, because I noticed there was two trunks on this lemon tree, and I go, wait a minute, the lemon trees don't have two trunks. So I put I started paying more attention, and when I put the light on it more, that's when it moved. The leg moved out of the light and went behind the tree trunk.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
Wow.
paranormal wise, at another location, we experienced. I don't know. This was a crazy one. It was at my friend's. It's near Pictograph Mountain. Pictograph Mountain is about another 10 minutes away from us. It's about south of Avocado Lake, about 10 minutes away. And we were out at my friend's house around 10:30 at night because we had heard that the military was going to be doing some special training up in the sky, and we wanted to watch it. So we went out there to my friend's house because he lives out in the country, and we wanted to watch and capture some of it. But unfortunately, it got real cloudy that night, and we didn't see anything. But anyways, we were out there at my friend's house, and there's vines across from him grapes, and then there's citrus trees around his house. And so we were out by the road, and there was no light by the road, so we were just parked out there, and we were just talking. And this was about 10:30 at night, and all of a sudden I hear like somebody. You hear footsteps on the road, shh, 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 and we all. It was me, my cousin, and then our friend, and we all shut up. It's like, what? And I'm looking around to see where it's coming from, and sure enough, here comes this lady. To me, it was a lady because all I can see was wet, long, dark hair. I couldn't see her face, and then you can tell it was wet hair, like long, wet hair, and then you can see it was white pants, and then she was carrying something, and I don't know where she came out, where she came from. First of all, I don't know where she came from. She just appeared there. We just heard it, so we were all tripping out. Again, I couldn't see her face. I couldn't see her torso, her upper body, just the white pants, and then they looked like black wet hair, like long black wet hair, like The Grudge. And she walked, and my friend's tripping out. He's like, "What the hell's going on?" And then my cousin's all like, "Dude, where'd she come from?" I go, "I don't know." We're all whispering, and then I think my cousin said, "Should we ask if she needs help?" I go, "No, no, 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 no." I was getting a bad vibe from this. I go, "Don't ask it anything. Just let it do its thing. Let's see where it goes. Don't ask it anything. Just let it go." So she walked by us, right across from us on the road, and then she crossed behind our vehicle and into the orchards. Never said a word. Nothing. I just like, nah, I don't, that was something, I don't know what the hell that was.
Man, that is just absolutely phenomenal. I mean, and you were seeing her, was she like looking like a physical person like you and I, or was she like an apparition?
You know, she looked like, but like I said, I couldn't see the torso. So that makes it, I don't know, like, was she there or was she not there? I couldn't see the face. I could see the hair. I could see the pants. I could see like a bag or something. But that's all I can see. I couldn't see a face, or I couldn't see the upper body. It was just black.
Oh, man.
And, we have a lot of stories of the weeping lady, La Llorona, they call her.
Right.
Yeah, so there's a lot of stories here about her. There's another place called Snake Road, which is about 10 minutes from us, in another small town called Sanger, California. It's it's called Snake Road, and they see her a lot there on that road. Also Sasquatch, Dogmen. We actually did investigation one night out there. Something crazy happened to us that night too. So it was like,
well, hey man, you can't say something crazy happened and then just walk away from it. I need to know that.
So we went out there at Snake Road. It was our first time going out there. It was me, Jesus, and another friend called his name was Alan. And we went out there about 10:30 at night. And it was in November, so it was cold back then. And so we were trying to find an area. It's real curvy, that Snake Road. That's why they call it Snake Road. It's real curvy. And it's just on the outskirts of Sanger, California. And so we were trying to find an area where we can walk. We wanted to walk a stretch of it, see if we experience anything. So we were looking, and then as we approached this area, I had my window rolled down on my side, and I heard yelling on my side, but the guys couldn't hear it in the vehicle. I heard yelling. Like I said, it was like a chatter. Mm-hmm. They were yelling loud, and I couldn't make out, it wasn't a language that I was familiar with. It wasn't Spanish, or it wasn't English. It's just, I couldn't make any words out. So then I told them, guys, do you guys hear that? And they said, no, we can't hear it because we're inside the vehicle. It's like, okay, well, you know what? I'm just going to park right here. So we ended up parking that right there. And we ended up getting all our gear down and getting ready to walk that stretch. So then, Jesus was getting all his gear ready to go. And then he had an urge to go, he had to go, number one. So he went across the road And when he went across the road, that's where I was hearing the chattering, right? So he did his thing, and then he came back, and we started going, walking down the road, and all of a sudden, I hear this whistle, okay? And this whistle had like a sonar effect. It echoed throughout the whole area. And every time I tell this story, every time I say whistle, I see a baby blue light in the sky. And when I turned around, I remember this baby blue light in the sky. And we all heard the whistle. Like I tell you, it had like a sonar effect to it. It echoed throughout the whole area. And we were all tripping out. We had voice recorders going. We had cameras going. And I'll tell you a little bit about that in a bit here. But we all heard it. And we were all tripping. I was like, what was that? I go, I don't know. But we all heard it. So then we kept going. And all of a sudden, Jesus starts feeling sick. Like every couple of seconds, he had to go to the restroom again. Like every couple, we couldn't even move like 2 steps, and he couldn't hold it. And that, and I felt bad for him because he wasn't feeling well. He was starting to get dizzy. He was all disoriented. But me and the other guy, me and my friend, we were fine. But he wasn't feeling it. And I go, dude, you want to call it off? We'll call it off. You're not feeling well. He goes, dude, I don't know what happened. I was fine. And so he goes, no, just keep walking. So I go, okay, we kept walking for another 10 minutes. And he just kept not feeling well. I was like, dude, I need to go. I don't know what's going on. I have a headache. I'm disoriented. I feel like I need to go restroom, but nothing's happening, He goes, well, maybe we'll go to a liquor store that's close by. So we went to the liquor store, and he went to the restroom, and we're waiting for him. And then he came out and said, yeah, I feel better. Let's go. So we went to the bridge after that. We went to the bridge where we had the Dogman encounter. And when we got there, we were there maybe like 10 minutes. And again, Jesus was not feeling, he was just dizzy and just disoriented and not feeling well. I go, dude, I told him, we're just calling it. Forget it. We're just calling it a night. So I ended up taking our friend back to Clovis. So then I ended up taking him Jesus home. But when we got to Jesus's house, he was still all messed up. I told him, dude, you want me to take you to the ER? I'll take you to the ER, dude, if you're not feeling well. He goes, no. I'll be okay. I'll go home and I'll be okay. I go, all right. So he got off, and when we got to Jesus's house, it was about 2:30 in the morning. And he got off. I watched him open the door. I watched him go in the house, and that was it. So I went home. The next morning, that early in the morning, around 8:00, I called him to see how he was doing. And he asked me, hey, what time did you drop me off here at the house? And I told him around 2:30 in the morning. He goes, dude, my wife, I walked into our bedroom at 4:30 in the morning, my wife said. It was 4:30 in the morning. I go, dude, it wasn't. I go, it was 2:30 in the morning when I dropped you off. I even made it a note to look at the time. He goes, I don't know what happened, but I'm missing 2 hours of time. And I go, he doesn't remember what happened. When he opened the door, he doesn't remember. He remembers opening the door to go inside. The next thing he remembers is going into the bedroom, and that was it. But it was 4:30 in the morning, and we were not that late. So he's missing 2 hours of time there.
Man, like he could have been just standing like a zombie in his house. It's almost like he took home an attachment.
Either that, or was it an infrasound attack? I mean, I don't know. That whistle that we heard.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It could have. I'm thinking it was an infrasound. So then I started reviewing the audio on our voice recorder, and it should have, as loud as it was, it should have picked it up, Dave, and you can barely hear it. You could barely hear that. And I have the volume all the way up, and you can barely hear it. Even on the video camera, it should have picked it up as loud as it was, and you can barely hear it. So it was on a different frequency. And let me tell you something. I don't know if I ever told you, but when I was reviewing that audio, I was looping it over and over because I was trying to hear it, right? And that evening, I got real sick. I got, I was nauseous. I was all disoriented. I was dizzy. That was Saturday night. In the morning, I woke up all dizzy still. My wife was worried. You know, she goes, I'm going to take you to, same thing that happened to Jesus. Same thing. And I was dizzy all day long. I was nauseous. And by the afternoon, I believe it was Sunday afternoon, my wife was, I'm going to take you to the hospital. I go, no. Just give me a minute. Let me lay down for a bit. And when I said that, when it was around 6:00 in the afternoon, when I said, let me lay down, I felt like I'm going to throw up. So I ran to the restroom and nothing. And man, I felt like crap. And then all of a sudden, you know what? I started praying in the name of Jesus Christ. If it's something negative, release it, take it from me, get rid of it in the name of Jesus Christ. And dude, Dave, I coughed after that. I was coughing and all the symptoms were gone.
Really? The power of Christ compelled you.
Well, I mean, it is what, take it as you want, but yeah, that's what happened.
I believe that. I totally believe that. And the one thing I love about your story is I know you, and I know you're not going to make something like that up. You know, big shout out quickly to Alaska's greatest athlete. Thank you for that wonderful super chat. Very much appreciate the love. And hey, Casey Ryback, how are you? 2 nights in a row. You haven't been around for months. So thank you for that. And Rich Buddy, how you doing? Just let me give a quick rundown here. I know I'm missing a couple others here. Mariah Centora, welcome to SOR chat. Hope you're having a great night. We know Mariah?
That's my niece.
Oh, is it your niece? Hello. Yeah. Hit subscribe. Uncle Javi says hit subscribe.
Yeah.
So the fact that you have had these weird, strange encounters, I'm just going to put it out there because I have a guy on my phone here who wants to be called Mr. Spook. Okay. I'm not going to say what he does for a living or anything like that. Frankly, I don't even know. But he just goes by Mr. Spook. And he is asking, have you had any other strange things happen to you? Precognition, like knowing something will happen before it does? Or like you just mentioned, a religious experience?
Yeah. Sometimes I know who's on the other end of the phone that's calling without even looking at the phone. That's happened to me multiple times. I already know who it is. Or I'm thinking of this person and they end up calling. Yeah.
Are you at the point now where you know when it's going to happen?
Kind of.
Tell us about your Dogman story.
The Dogman. Well, that was crazy. So me and Jesus, we had just gotten these night vision goggles, and we had just started the channel, so we were just going up to the bridge again and Avocado Lake area. So we wanted to test them out, right? Mm-hmm. So we go out there. I'm sorry, it was me and my cousin, and we go out there. So we park at the bridge where we saw the pterodactyl, that same place. He has a pair of night vision goggles. I get one, and I've never held one before out there in that area. So we were trying to get a feel for them, right? See how it looks at night and everything. And I was paying attention to the mountain ridges. So I was just, I was looking at the mountain ridges through the night vision, and he was looking at the river and along the riverbanks. And then he notices some eye shine down below, what looked like eye shine through the night vision goggles down below the riverbank, down below us. And we were tripping out on that because it looked like two set of eyes. And so he's tripping out, and we're looking. I told him, just concentrate on that. Let me know if it moves or if it does anything. So he's doing that, and then all of a sudden I bring down my night vision goggles to my chest, and then I turn around. So I turn around behind us is the mountain ridge where it starts, and I mean obviously it's the road, and then it's the mountain ridge, which is like 20 yards from us. I see this like this huge human type figure waving his arms up in the air, and I go, "What the heck?" And in my mind, I'm thinking it's a Sasquatch. I'm seeing the Sasquatch because the body built is like a human. I can see the upper body. I can see all the arms, all muscle. Obviously, I can see the hands. It was like human hands, and it was doing this, but I couldn't see that. I couldn't see the face. It was all black. I could just see the outline of it. And as it was doing this, it went down on all fours and it took off up the ridge. So then I saw what had this big old bump behind the head with like a mane, like a lion's mane. I noticed that, and then as it was running on all fours, it was kind of moving like in skipping motion, like in a strobe light motion. It was kind of weird. Okay, and it was moving fast. For the size of this thing was at least 8 to 10 feet tall, at least.
Oh my.
And the chest part was 4 to 5 feet wide, at least. Okay. So when it went on all fours, it was going on all fours, and it was doing the skipping motion as it was moving, which is weird. And then when it was doing all this, it was silent. It was stealth, no noise at all. And it got to this particular section of the ridge where it stopped, and then it turned its back towards me. I could see the whole back, all muscle, and then his back went down to a V shape. It was just muscle, massive thing. And then it grabbed onto the side of the hill there, so I can see the hands, I can see all the arms. It was all muscle. Then when it grabbed onto the side of the hill, I can see the claws. That time I saw the claws on it. I was like, "What the heck is this?" I'm still thinking it's a Sasquatch. So when it grabbed on, it leaped up. That's when I noticed the thighs, all muscle. The calves were all muscle. But I also noticed like I had ripped shorts. Like, to me, my head was telling me it's ripped shorts. It's wearing ripped shorts.
What?
It wasn't hair. It was ripped shorts dangling, like, you know how you rip it's ripped clothing. And
More like a werewolf then.
it was, yeah, like that. But then I didn't know at that time, I still didn't know it was a Dogman because I couldn't see the face. So it rose up its hands again and grabbed onto the side of the hill again. That's when it turned its head to the left. And that's when I saw the big old snout, the canines. You can see the canines. It was a long snout, and then you saw the pointy ears. It was looking back at us, and then it went over the ridge, stayed low to the ground like a spider, and then it went over the ridge on all fours.
Oh my. Did it know that you were there?
Oh yeah, it definitely knew it was, because it was doing this when I turned around. It was either it got upset that we were in its way of the river, or maybe it was going after something that we saw that was down below the riverbank that we were seeing, like some animal, or it was after that and we got in its way, or that was or we're saying maybe now that maybe it was some pups. We never know. I don't know. It could be some of the pups that were down there, and it was trying to get our attention because when we looked back at the riverbank after this happened, there was no more eye shine. There was nothing. Was it a distraction? But when I saw it, I thought it was trying to creep up on us. I felt like it was trying to creep up on us. But now that I think about it, I think it was trying to get our attention for sure. And I think there was something down below the riverbank that either it was something of theirs, or it was, I don't know. It's just something with that. Like, it was a distraction now that I think of it. We're trying just to get her to go away.
How far was this away from you?
No, this thing was just across the road. It was, I don't know, like 20 yards maybe.
Oh my God, dude. That's like within like 3 steps for these things.
Oh yeah, it could have jumped from where it was at, easily jumped and landed where we were at and taken us out if it wanted to.
So do you think it was just fearful that you saw it?
I don't think so. I don't think these things are fearful of us. Honestly, I don't. Like I said, I think it was trying to get our attention. Well, I got my attention, and then after, like I said, I saw everything. I didn't say anything to my cousin because I didn't want to break visual, and I was still processing. What I was seeing, and it happened like quick, Dave. It wasn't like, oh, it took a couple minutes, 3 minutes. No, 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 no.
Right.
This stuff happens quick. It happened quick as it took off. It was less than a minute by the time it was gone. So I didn't want to break visual. Usually when you break visual, that's when it's gone. Where'd it go? Oh, I don't know where it went. So I did not want to break visual. I stayed on it until it went over the ridge.
I think,
and that's when I told my cousin, I go, hey, I just saw something, and it wasn't a Sasquatch. I thought it was a Sasquatch. This thing had a German Shepherd head on it.
I think part of the issue that I have with it is the fact that it was wearing shorts.
Yeah. Well, that's what my head, when I was looking at it, that's what my brain was telling me. It was ripped clothing. It wasn't hair.
Weird.
And then we went back the next day. The next day was me and Jesus that went back to that area because I had told them what happened. So we went, and I ended up capturing a footprint. Where we were parked, there was a footprint there. So we have the footprint we have a photo of it. I wanted to get up where it was running and all that across the street, but that's all private property. It's all barbed wire and everything. You can't get in there. I mean, you could if you wanted to, but the owners are, they don't want nobody in there. They're on horseback and have rifles.
Gotcha.
And I go, nah, I don't want to get shot at.
Quickly here, big thank you to Alaska's greatest athlete for a pair of super chats. Thank you, my good friend. Babylon Rose, how you doing? Nice to see you again. And who else has jumped in here? Blue Cruz, how are you, my buddy? And the reason why I'm actually giving you shout outs is because we're not running the radio side of this tonight. We are just doing a YouTube side, and we're going to go from there, and we're going to go probably another hour. Javier, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to turn things over to Dirty Filth here. We got a couple of minutes, okay?
Sounds good.
All right. Dirty Filth, the machine is all yours.
Apparently, the machine is mine. Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a great night. I'm having a ton of fun listening to these cryptid stories. Speaking of Fresno, California, and Dogman and junk, I have a Dogman in plushified form. Let me grab him. Whoop. There goes Lady Nightcrawler. Look at. Move that over there. Here's Dogman in plushified form, everybody. He's even got his cute little Dogman tail. I can guarantee you this Dogman is 1,000,000 Macho Man % less rowdy than the Dogman that anybody else has ever seen in life. All right. Also, since we're sitting here and Dave's just giving me the what fors, my new book, Cryptid Cartoons, Volume 2, is available now. Look at that sucker. Never mind the shine from the circular thing here. But I got these suckers in today. They're available on Amazon. Just plug in Cryptid Cartoons by Klaus Meidner. And if you want to grab one, it's good for your bird cage or put your coffee coaster on it or something. But we got like 200 pages of drawings in here. Look at that. We got some aliens pretending that they're talking about government stuff. But here's one of my favorite things. I have a Dave and Science Bob cartoon. Oh wait, since we're here, I might as well just tell you this little. There's Sasquatch sneaking over. He's gonna grab Saskatoon berry pie off Grandma's windowsill, and the man in black is like, "Nope, not happening, Spanky." Anyways, you'll have to scoop the book yourself. But here's this. There's an excellent comic at the end. Look at Dave and Science Bob. Look at him. And there's Carl. So they feed Carl a bunch of beer, and Carl can't handle the Earth beer, so they acquire his UFO, and they pick up Brandon Vogel and Lou Elzardo when they drive out, and they end up crashing on Earth. There's a whole bunch of stories involved in it. Anyways, I was just excited because that showed up today. I wasn't feeling very good. Next thing you know, wake up and Mrs. Phil's like, "Hey, there's a package here for you." I figured it was just going to be the spooky movies I ordered for Halloween, but nope. Sack of books. So, anyway, I digress. Some of my favorite stories are cryptid stories, and I always like telling this one real quick here. How much time have I got? Yeah, I got about 6 minutes. Dave's got to let the dogs out and the cats out to go bark at the dog man or whatever. But one of my favorite stories, and I've said this before, so anybody's heard it before, they're too bad. In Star, Alberta, which is a relatively non-forested area, my friends had witnessed a albino Sasquatch with her. They're guessing it was the female albino Sasquatch. It was just albino and a Sasquatch. And so what happened is they were sitting at home. Oops, drop of water there. And they heard a crash on the side of their house, and they thought someone had driven to the side of the house. So they went to investigate, and down their driveway was a albino Sasquatch walking down the driveway with a smaller albino Sasquatch kit or pup, or I'm even not sure what the word is. I couldn't even imagine it, so I'm not going to try to invent it. But that's my favorite Sasquatch story that I know from people. So, oops, I gotta deal with the Earth a little bit here, make it a little more rugged. Earth's a pretty rugged place. Us humans are doing pretty good, I'd say so. Despite all the alien interference and all that stuff. Except I think I have to make a little extra ear pinkness on the two sprogs here with whiskey. So anyways, this drawing is the space sprogs to the rescue. So we have the gargoyle, the gremlin, and whiskey. Basically, the alternative name for this cartoon could be, "Come on, you apes, you want to live forever?" And then everybody has to go and watch Starship Troopers afterwards. But, however, some of the stories here tonight, I wish I had called my pal Travis, and he could have jumped in here and gave us a little extra stories and whatnot. I'll have to, one of my favorite things is always like the indigenous stories, because those stories have been here before anybody else got here. So when they coincide with other stories that like Europeans have had, like werewolves, dogmans, it's not like you can just say, well, dogmans or werewolf is a European thing. I mean, we've already heard stories tonight about dogman. I don't know. Dogman, I'm not sure if it's the correct wording. The bipeds, canine bipeds. I guess that's the Pennsylvanian thing. I don't want Butch Wachowski's ghost to come slap me in the head with a cane or anything.
He might.
But I know. Anyways, Dave, I'm rambling away here. So
yeah, you're allowed to ramble.
Here's the cartoon I did.
Hold on. Let me bring it back up. Hold on.
Oh, yeah, everybody's been looking at it. Don't worry. It's the space frogs, Dave. There's also they're protected by the ghost of Blob.
Very nice.
Yes.
John Jackson, how you doing? Dirty Filth, are you gonna stick around, or are you gonna
I've got some books to sign.
You have some books to sign? Yeah, I gotta buy one.
Yes.
I gotta buy one.
$50, Dave. I'll give you the $3 off the online price.
I'm not too worried about it. It goes to you, man.
Yeah, I know. Okay, buddy.
That's all.
Love you guys. Have a good night, everybody, and enjoy the stories.
1 second here. I gotta.
One.
All right. Let me just go like this. And Javi, let's bring you back in, buddy. Get you to unmute yourself there. Thank you to our super chatters, Alaska's greatest athlete with 2, T-Bone, my man, and Sweet Donna C. Thank you so much for the love and support. We're doing something a little bit different tonight because our radio side is down. It is down, and we have to get it fixed tomorrow. My radio stations are probably getting frustrated with me, but that's okay. Let's see here. Javi, let's continue the Dogman talk here. Because this close encounter that you had, just curious about it. Did you feel anything telepathically from this creature? Did you get any sense that it was sending you any messages, or was it just a mild stare down and then it took off?
Yeah, that's what I would say, Dave. It was a mild stare down and took off. And it happened, like I said, within a minute, and it was gone. This thing was fast. Like I said, it had this skipping motion to it, like it was missing frames. I don't know what that was about. I don't know what that is, but I noticed that. And another thing, it was stealth. It never made a sound. As big as that was, it was stealth. It was stealthy. Never made a sound. You would think you would hear rocks coming down from the ridge and all this when it was grabbing on, and nothing.
And that's, you know what? Let's open up that can of worms for a second here, because it amazes me how these giant creatures can run absolutely stealthily. Like a week ago when Tim and I were out at Flight 21, we had some incredible close encounters there. And we didn't hear them. We couldn't hear them running. They were like deathly silent. Now, I always wonder, like, are the pads on their foot like absorbent? Is that what it is, or what have you? But I mean, I just don't get it, man.
Yeah, I don't. That's what I noticed, Dave. It was stealth.
Yeah, because let's just go through this for a second. Like in my area, you hear a bear, you hear a wild horse, you hear a moose. Okay, when they're stepping on a branch or they're stepping on something, you hear that.
Right.
Quick shout out to Sancho. Welcome to SOR chat. One life, man. Good to have you back. So it makes me wonder how something, let's say the average Bigfoot is close to, let's say, between 500 and 1,000 pounds. That should make some noise.
Exactly.
A dog man, like you saw, 8 to 10 feet tall, that's got to be 400 or 500 pounds minimum.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Why isn't it making sound? Hi, Lazy
Exactly.
Blue.
And Dave, where it went, how I told you we went back the next day.
Yeah.
And you can see where it grabbed onto the side of that bridge. You can see the claw marks, and the soil was disturbed. You can see where it stepped, but I couldn't go in there. But like I said, we did find a print where we were parked, and that's all compacted ground because it's right next to the road. And for it to make a print right there, it has to have weight. It has to. It was heavy. It was big.
That just amazes me.
Yeah, it's all compacted dirt.
That just absolutely amazes me.
And then it's going with the Dogman. A year later, I don't know. Our friend Adolf is I don't know if he's in the chat, but he had a Dogman. He saw the Dogman encounter a year later in that same area. He had it, but his was early in the morning, as the sun was coming up. He was out there in that area, and he saw it. He saw it next to the river. So that was a year later after my encounter. So it was still around, and we did find a print a year later, still by the bridge. It was another print. We found another print. Recently, we haven't gone up there, so I haven't investigated that area, but hopefully, in a couple of days, we can go back up there and check it out. But yeah, recently we haven't found any prints, but hopefully soon we can get back up there.
Yeah, one of the things that amazes me about these giant creatures, man, is how they can get out of Dodge so quickly.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's just absolutely ridiculous how all of a sudden, you could be looking at them in 1 second and the next they're like gone, they've vanished.
Yeah.
Do you think that it is part of their stealthy camouflage, or do you think that it maybe has something to do with the fact that many people believe they're dimensional beings that
Yeah.
they can step in and out? What are your thoughts?
My personally, I believe my opinion, and I believe that they're interdimensional. Yes. And I do believe they have special abilities, because it's just when you experience something like that and you notice stuff like that, they have to have special abilities and they have to be interdimensional. You gotta be.
It's crazy to think,
And
isn't it?
just because of our experiences and my experiences that we've had, that's why I say that. It's crazy. Um, we've captured them on photos. There's other areas that we go to. We call them eucalyptus trees because I see structures in some of these eucalyptus trees just outside of town. One time we went out there, we were just going to go take pictures of these, what I call structures, these X structures. And it's off one of the busiest roads that goes into town. It's right off the road. And this particular time, me and my cousin went out there and I told him about this area. And he goes, well, let's just go and check it out. So we did. As soon as I got off the van, I got this stench of rotten meat. Like it hit both of us. Like, dude, there's some dead animal around here. And I told him there's the structures right there. And when I was pointing at the structures, I was telling my cousin to take pictures. I saw something on my corner of my eye up in the tree, like a shadow took off. Like, and I thought it was a bird, but I didn't see no bird. And I looked right away. I didn't see no bird, but I saw a leaf falling down. And I go, okay, it wasn't a bird because I would have been able to see the bird fly off. There was no bird, nothing. So then I tell my cousin, dude, there's something here. I just saw a shadow up in the tree, and it was fast. It took off. Where it went, I don't know, but it's not there. I'm looking at the tree, and it's not there, but I saw a leaf fall off from where I saw it, the shadow. And then all of a sudden, I get this sense, like it hits me like something's right in front of us where the smell's coming from, and it's all darkness. It's all dark. You can't see in there. And I go, dude, just take pictures. Start taking pictures, random pictures, especially of the dark areas. So he did. Sure enough, he did that, and we walked a ways down along these structure areas, and then we walked back. As soon as we got back to the van, that's where the dark, that area that was darker was across from our van, and you can smell that stench, like rotten meat. And we got back in the car and we took off. So then we review the photos, and sure enough, we captured something in the darkness there. You can see it. You can clearly see it. It was looking right at us. But I couldn't see it. I just felt it. I was looking hard. I couldn't see it. And then there was another area. It's about just on the outskirts of town again. Another area with all these eucalyptus trees. And I was noticing structures in this area. So I told Jesus at one time, hey, let's go check this place out real quick. And it was after lunch. So we go real quick. And right off the bat, as we're walking in, Jesus gets his bad vibe. He's like, dude, I'm not feeling it. He's telling me I'm not feeling it. I go, okay, what's wrong? He goes, dude, I just got this bad sense. I go, okay, I'm not feeling anything, but I'm going to go in. I was recording. And he was with the camera. He was just taking pictures. I was recording, so I kept going in. He held back. He would walk in behind me a ways back. And I kept going. I believe the video on our channel is called In the Trees.
Right.
That's the name of the title of the video if you want to go check it out. But that's the one where I'm walking in and he's way behind me. He's not feeling it. And I'm asking him, like, how are you feeling? He goes, no, I'm not feeling it. I go, okay, well, I'm feeling okay. I don't feel nothing right now. So I end up going where this big old structure, this tree had fallen over, and there was some other X's over there. And I go, you know what, I'm gonna go over here. I'm telling you, I'm gonna go over here. You hold back, just take pictures, and I'm gonna go over here and record. So he does. He stays back, and I kept going. As I was getting closer to this area, I started hearing movement. I started hearing like something big running away from me. Like you said, this time I heard it though. I can hear it. There was leaves on the ground. I could hear it stepping on the leaves, but it was something big, like boom, boom, and it was running away from me. And then I was hearing a bunch of other shuffling in front of me, and I was telling Jesus with hand gestures. I'm telling him, listen, I'm hearing running, and I was telling him like this because he was far away, and I just tell him, start taking pictures, start taking pictures. So I kept going, I keep going. I go where I'm seeing all these structures and where I'm hearing it. So I end up going, and it hits me like something is in front of me. Like I can sense that they were right there, like around me. I felt it big time. I can smell them. I can hear them moving around, but I just couldn't see them. And I knew they were in front of me. I just couldn't see them. And even in the video, I'm telling you, they're right here. They're right here, and I can't see them. So I end up doing the whole video, and Jesus took the picture. When we get home, Jesus had the camera. He calls me. I go, hey. He's like, hey, I got something in the pictures. So he sends me the picture, and sure enough, there's two, one in the tree and one in front of me.
No.
And he has them on the photos. We have them in the photos.
Damn.
One looks like it has a dog head. It's up in the tree, and the other one, I don't know. People tell me it's a Sasquatch. I don't know. It looks like the sand people from Star Wars. I don't know. That's what it looks like to me. Is it an elemental? I don't know.
And that's the point. We don't know. I mean, it's almost like, you know what, your situation sounds very familiar. What happened to Tim and I a week ago, where we called it that they were like playing hide and go seek with us, and believe it or not, it was fun. And then they ended up leading us back to our gifting tree. And then all of a sudden it was like, I got this real, I don't know if it was telepathic or just some sort of message that it was like, okay, guys, we've had fun enough. It's time for you guys to go back to your base camp and leave this area to us.
Mm.
Have you had that before?
Yeah, over here in town when we're up by the Kings River. I think we got too close and they started throwing rocks at us.
Yeah, we haven't had that yet.
Yeah,
we haven't had that in our area. But one of the things that you brought up that I think is very important for our listeners is the fact that Jesus wasn't feeling that well. He just felt very uncomfortable in that situation. You were feeling fine, so you decided to kind of walk in there a little bit.
Yeah.
Tim and I have a rule that, in our area, we don't leave each other.
Right.
Like if I go to the left, he goes to the left. If he goes to the right, I go to the right. And like this past weekend, Tim was just like, dude, I just can't go. I just can't go. So he's like, you could go up there. And it's like, no, I'm not going up there alone. Are you freaking crazy?
Yeah.
I mean, do you guys have any rules like that you follow for safety protocol?
Oh, definitely. We never go alone to these areas. Never. If I want to go and he can't go, or my cousin can't go, then I won't go. I can't go. I'm not going alone unless somebody else is going with me or two other people are going with me. We just won't do it. And we always ask each other if we all go or two of us go, we're always asking each other how we're feeling. Because sometimes he'll pick it up like he's not feeling it, or I'm picking it up. Or sometimes it's both of us. We're feeling different stuff. Like we sense stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, never go alone.
That's the big one for me is like, have you ever had an occasion where where all of a sudden you guys are say planning a trip out to your spot, and then like a couple days before even the day of, you're like, I just don't feel comfortable in going. I mean, I think that we have to call this one off.
Yeah, it's happened to me a couple of times because I'm usually the one that wants to go out to Avocado Lake. I have this urge that I need to go out there, and sometimes we do end up going, and sometimes stuff happens, and when we go, but then sometimes I have this urge that I need to go, and then when the time comes and I'm ready to go, I get another thought, like another feeling, like a bad feeling. It's like, no, I better not go. So then I call it off. I go, nah, I better not. For some reason, I'm getting this vibe, and I better not go.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It does happen. You know, when we started the channel and we started experiencing stuff, Dave, like after the Dogman encounter, it was like I was getting pulled to these certain locations, and every time we would go to the certain location that I wanted to go to, there was activity or there was evidence of structures, or we'd find stuff. It's like I was being guided somehow to these locations. That's the way it felt to me.
That's just, it's creepy when it happens to you. And you know, it's funny because prior to Tim and I starting out on our adventure, hey, Ryan Middleton, how you doing? Prior to Tim and I starting on our adventure, you know, I had to rely on people like you for those feelings of what it was like and being out there. And do you get a lot of contamination from other people, maybe using them as hiking trails or people camping or
Well,
mo-
the
uh,
place, the,
motocross?
the places that we go, like Avocado Lake, well, actually, it's a public park and stuff. So we usually go during the week, and in the evenings where there's hardly any human activity out there. On the weekends, forget it. It's packed with people, and it's not going to happen. So we usually go during the week or the middle of the week when there's less activity, less people out in that area, and that's when stuff happens. And all the other hotspot areas, there's hardly anybody there because Pictograph Mountain, it's private property, and we have permission to be on that land. We got permission to be there, so we get to go in. There's nobody else around.
Right. Right. I mean, do you feel then, that since you don't have that human contamination, that it's a little bit easier to make things happen? Because I don't know about you, but for us, we try and get there. I mean, we're running out of daylight fast here up
Yeah.
there. Okay. But when it was more in spring, summer, and coming out of solstice, I mean, we could be there until 10:30, 11:30 at night. Now it's like 8 o'clock. Do you feel that there is a big shift between daytime and going into dusk, especially?
Each area is different, and Avocado Lake area, um, that area, as soon as nightfall hits, you can feel the atmosphere shift. I mean, you can feel it. Like, it's eerie. Over here by the town over here, where we've had other areas, where we experience stuff, it'll happen in the day, or it's different. You can tell it's different. But over there, for some reason, that area, Avocado Lake, it just shifts, and you can feel it.
Oh yeah. Ours happens around dusk. How about yours?
Yes. Yeah. As soon as night's coming down, the sun goes down. Oh man, you can feel the atmosphere shift. It's crazy. I mean, it's crazy.
It really is. I mean, that shift into night. I mean, it's almost like for people who may not know what we're talking about. It's almost like a light switch
Mm-hmm.
hits, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, playtime is over, kids. It's time to go
Yeah.
home, and
Yep.
it's time for I'm going to use a pun here or a cliche from Spaced Out Radio. but it's almost like, okay, it's time for us to own the night.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, your time is up.
We're going to be a little upset.
Yeah.
Kimberly Burgess, how are you, sweetie? Nice to see you tonight on in the chat room. Thank you for coming on in. You owe me a hug, by the way. She gives great hugs. She really does. But yeah, I mean, for us, it's dusk. Dusk is where, you know, we always sit there and say, you know, in the daytime, maybe you're like this too, where you are hanging on out and everything is so peaceful and quiet. And then all of a sudden that light switch just kind of flips and you realize, okay, we're going into dusk. Now it's time for them to come out and play. It's almost like there's this calm before the storm,
Right.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And you get that too.
Yep. Yes, sir. It's just crazy out there in Bocado Lake. Over here, like I said, around the town, we had or Pictograph Mountain. We've had stuff happen in the day. We've gone up there in the day, and stuff happens in the day. One time, me and Jesus went up there, and we didn't hike the mountain, but we were on the avenues along the mountain, and we were. I'm trying to remember I think we were just taking pictures, or we we're just trying to feel the area if something was around or something. Well, anyways, we ended up leaving, and as we were getting in the van and taking off, an orange comes flying from the mountainside in front of our van. And I was like, what the heck? And I stopped the van and I get off to see if anybody's up there or anybody's running away from the mountain, you know, because it came from the mountainside. Not on the other side is a citrus orchard of the avenue. So it came, something threw it from the mountainside. Now, it was a person up there. I don't know. I didn't see anything. I didn't hear nobody running away. I called out, hey, anybody out there? Nothing. But I felt like there's something. We always feel that there at Pictograph Mountain, there's something going on there because we've experienced so much stuff there. So much stuff. We have left game cams there for 4 days in this particular spot where we're talking about, and the game cam shut off. It never recorded at night. It would turn back on at sunup. So it would shut off as soon as it got dark. It wouldn't record, and then it would record again at sunup. And it's not programmed that way. So something was shutting the game cam off. Something was happening to it. Because on the fourth night, I went in the evening, and it took pictures of me coming up to retrieve it. Well, what happened about the previous nights? How come I didn't do that? Something was messing with it. Something shut it off. And we've captured EVPs there. In our videos, when we're out there, there's EVPs in our videos. Electric voice phenomena. Somebody else talking in them. Is it the cryptids? Is it the spirits from that long ago? I don't know. I don't know who it is. It's crazy out there.
Yeah, let's talk about the trail cams for a minute, because initially a few weeks ago we put up one trail cam. We didn't get a single photo, and we had it exactly set up the way it was supposed to. Tim set it up. We go back a week later, the trail cam is not working, hasn't taken a single photo, and in fact, it didn't even take a photo of us leaving. Yet
Okay.
Tim takes the camera home, sets it up at home, and it's firing right off the bat. You know, and he's like, what the hell is going on here? And we've got two other trail cams up there right now. You know, they're going to be up there. My God, we're going to have 1,000 photos to go through because they've been up there for 2 weeks by the time we get there. But I mean,
well, I hope you have photos. I mean, like I'm saying, they have something's messing with them. They have the ability to shut them off. These creatures have the ability to do it.
How do you think they're able to do that?
It's a frequency. It has to be frequency that they shoot to these game cams, I guess, and it just shuts them off, or it doesn't let them take photos. It has to be. I'm feeling it has to do with frequency. It has to be a certain frequency.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible.
Because we had other cameras, trail cams throughout the mountain along the sides. One of them, it took photos at night and everything, and the other one also it worked fine. It was just one in the middle. It like I said, it didn't take anything. It would shut off at sundown, and then it would start recording at sunrise. And there's no program for that in that trail cam for that.
Right. Oh man. I don't get it sometimes, my man.
Yeah.
I don't get it. If our audience, we only got about half hour left for tonight. Okay. But if you guys have any questions, put them in capital letters. Okay. So that way we could ask Javi the questions. Jessica McCreary, how are you tonight? Jeremy Jones, how are you? Good to see you guys. Yeah, because I want to get some audience questions in here. Ryan Middleton, thank you for coming on in. And kind of go from there. I don't think I'm missing anybody. Let's see here. Benno wants to know the pterodactyl. What was its color?
It was like a tannish, a light tan, like a leathery color, a light
Right.
tan color.
And 2 to 4 feet tall.
Yeah, 2 to 4 feet tall at least. The wingspan, shoot, I forget what we measured. I think it was like 12 feet from one side to the other. It had to be at least.
Right. All right. That's all I got so far. How many trail cams you got out there?
3.
Do you have them on video or just picture?
Just picture.
Batteries last longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's
And we've captured these white vehicles in our game cams. I don't know if you have, but there's these white vehicles. The owner asked us, "Who's these white vehicles on my property?" I go, "It's not me." I tell you when we're gonna go up there. Well, I got all these white vehicles on my property, and I try to go and approach them, and they take off. And we captured them. We got a photo of one of them in one of our game cams. So I don't know if somebody is listening to us or monitoring us, our channel. Because before I used to say where we're going, but now I don't say anything. I don't say nothing. I don't say the locations no more.
really, eh?
Yeah.
That is weird too. We've caught people on our trail cams. We've caught people going in, but they were going in to visit the crash site. But we haven't. There's only one really strange picture that we caught, and I don't think it's paranormal.
Okay.
I think because something moved our camera, and there's one photo of where it looks like you can see something hairy there, but to me it looks more like a squirrel,
Okay.
or it's looking more like a some sort of smaller type animal that maybe it was hopping over the log and it moved a little bit.
Yeah.
What's the weirdest thing outside of those vehicles? What's the weirdest thing you've caught on your trail cams?
The weirdest thing, just I don't know if it's orbs, Dave's, or is it dust. I'm not sure. On one of our trail cams, it was a bunch of them, a bunch of everywhere, and it's at Pictograph Mountain. But it could be dust, or insects. But I mean, there was a lot of them, a lot of orb-shaped objects in that trail cam. It was picking up a lot of them.
How do you tell the difference between an orb and a speck of dust or a bug flying on by?
A bug, you can kind of tell the way it moves. To me, the way it moves, it's the movement. To me, I can kind of tell if it's an insect. Dust, that's kind of, to me, it's a little hard. But some people say you can see faces in these orbs, and some of them do have faces in these orbs. So I don't, I don't know.
All right, next question comes from T-Bone. Did the Dogman shorts look hulked, like the Incredible Hulk, where they're all ripped?
Yes, yes, exactly. That's how I saw it. Yes.
So let me ask you this then. Do you think you were looking at a Dogman, or do you think you were looking at a werewolf?
Well, if you go by the shorts, it would be a werewolf, right?
Yeah.
So people ask me, well, it could have been a skinwalker. Well, I don't know. I don't know if skinwalkers get that big. I don't know if, because the skinwalkers they portray them as skinny, and they have a felt on them. And I've never seen this. I've heard of a skinwalker that's built like a bodybuilder, like a wrestler. I mean, this thing was built like all muscle. It was huge, massive. I don't know if skinwalkers get like that. I have no idea.
I don't know, my friend. Let's go to Paramarv. Any evidence of portals when you're out in the woods looking for cryptids?
We haven't, the only one that we've captured that I would say it might be a portal is the little island by the bridge. That island, when we first started our channel, we took pictures and we've experienced stuff there. But in one of the photos, you can see like little statues. You can see stairs, altars, like an altar in that island. It came out in the photo. It's weird. You see a bunch of faces within the shrubs, like fire, and it's weird. And it was only in one photo. We took about 13 photos of the bridge back to back. I mean, of the island. I'm sorry. And then only in one photo it showed all that stuff showed up. So I'm thinking that is a portal, that little island there.
All right, let's go to Fast Hemi. The vehicles, the white vehicles, what kind were they?
There were, I want to say there were either Ford or Dodge pickup truck with campers, all white, all windows limo dark. And when I say limo dark, even the front ones, you're not supposed to have, in California, you're not supposed to have limo dark windows in the front, and these vehicles have them. So you cannot see who's inside. And they're all white vehicles. And we've seen them twice. When I was making the Dogman video,
Yeah.
we saw them then, and then at Pictograph Mountain, the game cam picked them up. Yeah, so I know they're around. I haven't seen them recently. But again, we haven't been going out as much. So
well, let's go to the next question. Hi, Couples Light. Welcome to SOR Chat. Sweet Tony D, good morning to you. He says, have you thought about putting your trail cams in a Faraday cage, or do you know of anyone that's done that to combat the frequency?
no, I haven't heard of that. No. And I haven't thought of that.
We have
Right.
special cameras. Lee Strauss gave us a couple of special cameras that have been I forget how he put it. Tim would know. But Tim's not here. So, but yes, we have thought about that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Bobbert, how are you tonight? And T-Bone is asking, do you think there is a genetic manipulation involved?
I think so. I really think so. I think now there is experimental stuff going on with DNA. aliens abduct humans. What? How come they might be abducting Sasquatch and Dogman and doing tests with them too, and bringing back the hybrids and dropping them off? We don't know.
I'm still not sure about that.
I hear a lot of stories from UFO people seeing.
I'm not sure about that.
I hear a lot of stories of people seeing a UFO, and then they see a Sasquatch right after they see the UFO. Well, how do you know that that it was abducted? The Sasquatch or the Dogman was abducted, dropped off at a different location. That's why it's all mad and doesn't know where it's at.
Very true. Very true. All right, let's go over to let's see here. Let's go to Donna, sweet Donna C. Have you had any sightings experiences in a city like Fresno?
In the city of Fresno, no. Heard of the Fresno night crawlers? That happened in the city of Fresno. I haven't been to that site yet. I want to go explore that area. I just haven't had a chance. But no, not in the city of Fresno. I haven't had any sightings or experiences. Just out here in the outskirts and where I live in Wheatley and Orange Cove. That's where we've had our experiences.
Let's go next. Who are we going to see? Juicy H Fitness. Welcome to SOR chat. How you doing? The awesome cat chaser. Thanks for coming on in. And who else do we have here? Fapster. Big bad Fap Nuts. Looking pretty saggy tonight. Well, let's see here. Where are we? Leecham, nice to see you. Please put your questions in capital letters. Let's go to Paramarv. Any recent nightcrawler sightings or theories of what they are?
No recent sightings that I've heard of. Nothing. Theory of what they are. They could have been maybe an elemental from back in from the days when there was all this whole area used to be marshland back in the days, so it's a real watery area, and maybe that's why they have the long legs, to get around. And I know
I haven't heard anything either about anything.
Yeah. I've seen photos of the natives around this area, and they have the totem poles, but instead of one pole, it's these figures with long legs. They have structure. They've built structures that resemble them.
And that is weird. That is weird. Up here in BC, they certain First Nations people will actually put Sasquatch on their totem poles,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of cool. Which is very much kind of cool. So I think it's pretty amazing. And the artistry is phenomenal. Let's just be honest. You know,
Yep.
What else is happening in your area? We haven't got to UFOs yet. We got about 17 minutes before we're going to shut this thing down.
Well,
UFOs.
okay, so the end of July and the beginning of August, there was that talk of this metal sphere. I don't know if you heard about it. I was seeing these reports of a metal sphere being seen all over the world and this and that. But anyways, my cousin ended up seeing one. I believe it was at the end, close to the end of July of this year. And I sent you the picture, but I don't know if you can bring it up. But if not, that's okay. He ended up seeing the one coming from Fresno, coming home on the outskirts of Fresno. And he pulled over to the side because he noticed it. And he got off the vehicle and he took pictures. So when he took the picture, it looks like a big old bright ball. And then there's these two little ones behind it. But he said when he noticed it, he didn't notice any other ones behind it. But it wasn't reflecting the sun, it was just a metal sphere. But when he took the photo, it's real bright, like it's reflecting the sun. or it's illuminating light. I don't know, but it was in the afternoon. It was still sun out, and he saw it. He saw this metal sphere. Those other two that show in the background, I don't know if it's lens flare, but he didn't notice them, like I said. But he saw that it was a metal sphere, and he got off the vehicle, like I said, and he took a picture. And he has, I sent you that photo, Dave. And then another beginning of August here over Reedley, my cousin ended up, he was closing the store at 9:30 at night where he works. He was locking up, and him and his coworker noticed up in the sky there was these three white lights in a triangle formation, and it was moving fast towards them. So he was able to record a little bit of it, and I sent you that photo also. But he said he couldn't really see it in his phone, so he thought he didn't record it. So he didn't think he recorded it, but he ended up, when he got home, he did. He recorded it, and I took a little still shot from that video, and he says that there was no noise. It went right over them. There was no noise. It was just three white lights in a triangle formation. They were not blinking. There was no other aeronautic lights at all. He said it was moving fast to the southeast. And like I said, it went over him, and he couldn't make out the shape of the craft. He just saw those lights in a triangle formation. So then that particular night, he called me and he said, "Hey, I saw these lights, and I was actually in Sanger, the next town over, and we got home about 10 o'clock. So he saw the sighting around 9:30, and I got home and really about 10 o'clock. And I noticed as I was coming into town, 4 military jets coming from the direction this craft was going. And usually you don't see 4 military jets at night just flying around.
Right.
And that kind of like, okay, then something did happen here to me, you know.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
No kidding. Do you
Yeah.
think then, like, where is the closest Air Force base to you?
It's in Fresno.
Okay. And
There's a fighter wing in Fresno. There's about I think 13 or 15 fighter jets there. And then there's Lemoore Naval Air Base, which is about an hour south from us. So you got more military over there, but the closest one is Fresno. So we always have military jets flying around, but they're always in pairs, you know, and you see them in the day. Every once in a while, you'll see them at night. But this particular night, was it a coincidence that he called me and he saw this? And then when I'm coming in, there's 4 military jets coming from the same direction. They're coming back into Fresno from that same direction that craft was going.
Because if I'm correct, please forgive me if I'm wrong here. Okay, because I'm kind of looking at a map here. I mean, you guys aren't really close. Well, I guess you could draw almost a straight line that would put you right into the Area 51 area of
Yeah.
Nellis Air Force Range.
Yeah. Yep. On the other side of the mountains, right?
Well, I mean, just kind of looking here. Let me bring this up here just to show you guys what I'm looking at, because I know I'm not very good at this because I'm always more concerned about the radio side of everything. But share screen. Okay, here's the map. So let me just go like this for a quick second. Just going to bring that up fully. So I don't know how well you guys can see this, but where am I now? Right there. Where is Fresno? Okay, so Fresno is right here. And then if you draw a straight line, okay, where is it now? Okay, so it's not much north, but it is a little northeast, but it would be on a flight pattern towards towards Nellis Air Force Range.
Mhm.
Not Area 51, because Area 51 is a little bit more north here in Rachel, which is right here. So there's Rachel, the mountains in here, and then this area here is where Area 51 would be,
Correct. Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Which is straight across from, where's, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the best that I can get on there right now. Just trying to line this up. Is there's Rachel over here, there's Fresno here. So I mean, you're investigating kind of in between like Fresno and Clovis, correct?
Fresno, Clovis, and towards the foothills, all that section.
Okay. So you know what? That would be almost on a straight flight path towards Area 51.
Yeah.
I know we're trying to piece things together here. It's all hypothetical.
Right.
That would be kind of interesting.
See, back in the 80s when me and my family saw those two triangles, they were heading towards direction of Area 51 as you line it up
Right.
there.
Right.
Yeah, we were. If you zoom in, you'll see a little town called Orange Cove. If you zoom in between Fresno and the hills there,
Okay.
right in there. Keep going. Go to your on here on the screen. Go to your right. You should see a town called Orange Cove.
Keep going right.
Right in there somewhere. Go down a little bit. Can't see
Orange
the name.
Grove, right here.
Yeah. So that's where I grew up. That's right next to the foothills. And just between there, that's where we saw the triangles heading towards over the mountains, towards Area 51.
Tell us that story.
So me and my family, it was my mom and dad and my little brother. We're heading home from Orange Cove. We used to live out in the country, closer to the hills, in a ranch that my dad was taking care of. He was the irrigator for that ranch, so there was a house there, and we lived out there. So, anyways, that particular evening, we left Orange Cove, which was my grandmother's house, and we were heading home. And it was about 8:30 at night. It was already getting pretty dark. And I was always, I always looked up in the sky. I was always looking up in the sky, looking at lights and stuff. And this particular time, I told my dad, "Hey, Dad, look at those lights. Is that a helicopter?" And then my dad looked at him, and he stayed quiet. And he didn't say anything. And then I go, "Dad, is that a helicopter?" And he goes, "No, that's not a helicopter." So he ends up pulling over on the side of the road out in the country, and we all got off. And we're all staring at this. By the time we got off the car, it was above us. And there was two huge triangle crafts. You can clearly see them. I mean, they were not high up in the sky. They were like right there, like really low and above us. And there was three white lights on each point of the triangle, and then the center was a red light. And there was two crafts, and they were right next to each other, and they were going really slow above us, and then they were going over the hills. They were going towards the hills. But as we were watching this, none of us said a word. I heard no engine noise at all, nothing, as it went above us. It blacked out all the stars and everything, and as it went over us, and you couldn't hear no engine noise, nothing. And this was back in 1987, 88, around there. And we just watched it go towards the foothills, and then they disappeared over the foothills, like towards Area 51 that way. And I remember we just got back in the car, and that was it. We never said a word to each other. And then a couple of weeks later, we had a get together at my grandmother's. And so I guess somebody said UFO, or somebody said something, because all of a sudden, all of us, it triggered us to tell what we saw. Like my mom, my dad, my brother, all of us remember, like, "Oh yeah, we saw this." But I don't know who said that somebody had said something about a UFO, and then it triggered us to talk about it. And then when I started the channel, I did a video out in the area where we saw it. So on our channel, you'll see the video in the area where we encountered the triangles. And I was telling my mom, I'm going to talk about the encounter that we had when we saw the triangles. Oh yeah, and she goes, did I ever tell you when we saw those triangles for 3 consecutive nights? She goes, I don't know if they were dreams, but it didn't feel like a dream. She said, I was hovering above the bed and this red light was on me and I couldn't move, but I was hovering above the bed and I could see your dad on the bed asleep. And I was just hovering in the air with this red light on me this light came through the roof of the house, but it was a red light. And it happened 3 consecutive nights after we saw those triangles. I go, Mom, you never told us. It's like, oh, I thought I did. It's like, no, you never told us. So I don't.
Javier, we only got a couple minutes left here. Get to a couple questions from our audience before we say goodnight here. And
Okay.
I just want to make sure I'm not missing any here. Leacham is asking, any accounts of duende, little people, or La Lechuza? What are La
Yeah, there's
Lechuza?
Duendes. There's a Porterville, which is about an hour south from us. There's it's been on the Monsters and Mysteries, a Porterville gnome. It's known as a Porterville gnome. They did a segment out there, and they're known for the gnomes out in Porterville area. Out here, I haven't encountered. I haven't heard of anything. For that or the lechuza, no, nothing of that. I haven't heard anything. I haven't seen anything. Nobody's told me anything about it.
All right, let's go to another question. Jaquetta wants to know if you are close to Merced Air Force Base.
It's about an hour and a half away, north from us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Paramarv is asking, you mentioned stairs on that little island. Have you come across other stairs in the woods that led up to nothing at the top? If you did, would you go up them? Thoughts on what they are?
No, I have never come across a set of stairs in the woods or where we've gone. Would I go up them? No, I would not. I would not go up them.
No way.
No
I
way.
agree with you there, my man.
No.
T-Bone is asking about the triangle. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Were there lights on or under the triangles?
The lights were under the triangles, yes. The ones that we encountered in my family, yeah. They were 3 white lights, one on each point of the triangle, and in the center was a red light. There was no other, that I remember, there was no other lights. But both triangle crafts had the same lights.
Right.
And they were right next to each other.
Hi, Sandra. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Sandra. All right. Do me a favor, buddy. Tell everybody where they can find your work, your channel, your podcast.
You can find us on YouTube, Cryptid559, and then on Facebook, Cryptid559. But the 559 is in Roman numerals, so just look for our logo. Send me a friend request, and then we'll get you in. We'll go from there.
Brother, it is always a pleasure to chat with you. When we get the radio side figured out, we're going to rebook you for that.
Sounds good. Thank you for having us, and thank you for inviting us all the time.
You tell Jesus that I'm expecting him next time.
I will. I will.
Bombshell Bomber, how are you? Jarence Carter, nice to see you. For those coming in late, we don't have the radio side going tonight. We are having some technical issues still on the rebuild that started yesterday. We noticed it after the show. So we're going to shut this down tonight. Big thank you tonight to T-Bone ×2, Alaska's greatest athlete ×2, and Sweet Donna C. The radio mishap, Jarence, is that there is clicking in my microphone and we can't figure out how to get rid of it. That's what it comes down to. Tomorrow night on the show, we got Merle. So get ready for Merle. You Merle it up tomorrow night, people. There will be a show at least on YouTube. Okay, YouTube is sounding fine. We're going to keep YouTube going, but we want to make sure that we get the radio side going too. I got to get to bed. Javier, thank you, buddy. Much love to you. Do me a favor. I love your beautiful wife. Tell her hello from all of us and from me. Give her a hug if you don't mind.
I will. Thank you.
Appreciate you, buddy. Take care. Good night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
Stay healthy, my friend.
You too.
You need bail money, give me a call.
Always, Dad. Take care.
You too.